Okay, let's start. Welcome back to another episode at The Heart Speaks. And today, we've decided to talk on the topic of love. When Renice asked me whether we should do the next podcast, I was like, started to think a bit more on this idea of love, and I wanted to go into Pinterest and find some inspiration of what I felt could represent love if I drew it out at that point in time. And for some reason, I resonated with this specific image that I drew. I'm going to show it. So I thought it would be quite fun for us to start and interpret what we think, giving you this image and the topic of love.
What a question.
I see a person falling. And of course, the most immediate thing that comes to my mind is falling in love. But it's interesting because while the person is falling, he also seems to be cradled. Like he's in this position where it feels like reaching out, being cradled. So I don't feel fear. It's actually a very big sensation of serenity. That sense of reverence, like, wow, I am held by something. That's my association.
It's interesting that you said that because when I saw this picture, I feel like the person isn't falling, but it's as if there's a sort of aura coming out of the person and extending into something above. So therefore, I'm seeing a connection of the divine and the person, whereby love is a sort of connection between something or something beyond with the self.
So for me, I felt like when I was drawing this, I was thinking very like simply. So I saw it as like a heart and like you're falling into it. But the more I look at it, the more I started to feel quite heavy in that sense where this space around you and there's like no gravity to it. Suddenly it feels quite reflective to a lot of my past experiences of what I thought love is. So, to begin, what is love to you?
Wow, I will do an academic spiel. I'll question you back. Who is asking?
Maybe that lost little girl that was left after my breakups. And maybe I can share more about it first so that your academic mind can be more sympathetic. I I used to be the type of person that thought I fell in love very quickly. And for some reason, also the type of person that falls out of love very quickly. So my past experience of my relationships, I always thought that it was infatuation at the start and I could feel so many butterflies in my stomach and excited over something. But after a while in the relationship, I felt like I couldn't grow anymore in the relationship. So it made me feel a bit less excited and dull. So maybe I don't know whether for you guys it's maybe the experience of infatuation for the start, but that was what I thought love was, at least. But after a while, it felt like it faded away. So was it the love that faded away, or was it the fact that I didn't actually experience love because it was too fast for me to be in love because it was such a short period of time that I knew the person?
I think to answer that question, we need to break down what love is. Is love a feeling of butterflies in the stomach and feeling of blissful happiness as you walk down the beach hand in hand with your lover? But then you can also be in love with someone and suffer, because that's where you know, those revenge killings where people hurt each other and their reason for it is, oh, I love you too much and then you betrayed me. So love can bring about suffering. So if love can bring about suffering, then love is not a feeling. Is love a choice? Have you read that very famous quote that's around on the internet, I think? I don't know who said it, but something like, love is not a feeling, love is a choice, love is you waking up every day choosing to be with that same person over and over again. And have you read that?
I've read that, yeah.
And do you agree with it?
At first, when I first read it, I totally agreed that you choose to be in love. Now I don't think so.
Why?
I really want to read a Khalil Gibran quote at this time.
Such a,
As I search it, maybe you can continue your description.
Do you agree with it?
that love is a choice. I think for someone that doesn't think she knows love and what love actually is, I would say I don't agree with it. Because I want to be in love. But how come I don't know what love is? So is that a choice for me? I'm trying to choose love, but seems difficult. So I don't know. I don't think it's a choice.
And we also hear of couples who go, I've been in this relationship for 8 years, 9 years, and wow, I do not like my partner. Then obviously, love isn't a choice. Love is not something you can will into existence. Commitment is something you can will into existence, but love isn't. So love is not a feeling, love is not a choice. Love is not a sensation because the feeling of butterflies in your stomach will pass after some time, as you described. Then what is love? I think love is a state of being. I think love is like a direction, an existential stance that you adopt. It is, to some degree, a very hard to grasp concept because it is always there, but you might not always access it. And I feel like our accessibility to love depends a lot on how we prepare and treat and harness our own being. So I feel like when you said that when you met a person for the first time and you deeply felt as if there was a future together, I felt that feeling was as if your world has been opened, as if it has gotten bigger, as if now you are seeing beyond yourself to another realm with another person. And I feel that was what triggered that feeling of, wow, this entire life is beautiful, and now everything is fresh to me. And once you stopped feeling like you've grown, in a way, like your world stopped getting bigger and you felt that it became a box, kind of like a jail cell. I think that was when, let's just say, when you stopped being in a state of love.
I like some of the phrases you used. You said you want to be in love, but you cannot have love. You can have hugs, you can have kisses, you can have nice words said or say nice words, but you cannot have love like you're being in love. I really, really want to say this quote from this poet Khalil Gibran. He says, "For even as love crowns you, so shall he crucify you. Even as he is for your growth, so is he for your pruning. Even as he ascends to your height and caresses your tenderest branch that quiver in the sun, so shall he descend to your roots and shake them in their clinging to the earth." That sounds terrifying. As is what I think love is. I feel like we all want love. We all want to be loved and be in love. As if the human being wants to transform and become bigger. And I think we need to be very careful about certain distinctions. The first distinction is the state of love, and the second is that of romantic love. A love between two partners, or the state of love. Because I can love coffee. Does that mean I'm, in a romantic relationship with coffee? No, definitely not. So we need to be clear with with the distinctions. And that will be very, very important in our learning and understanding of love.
I think what strikes me about that poem is that we like to think of love as this very idealistic concept where, well, it's I must feel good every day. But in that poem, love is a crucifixion. Love is something that can bring about suffering. But how is that possible? I think if love can bring about both bliss and suffering, then it must be bigger than just human emotions. When we see something for the first time, or when we encounter another human being as they are for the first time, it is as if we are on the edge of the unknown. And because we are on the edge of the unknown, suddenly we are confronted with, wow, my entire life is different. I see my life differently. It could change at any point of time. That's why the concept of marriage lures people so much. It's like, imagine everything that you are right now has the promise, this allure that it can change, it can grow, it can become something else. I feel like it is this unknown that invites us to almost confront the world in a way that's bigger than us. That invites us to treat it with this kind of courage, with this kind of openness. And I think that courage and openness allows us to experience the world anew. And on the flip side, also, I think it's so ironic because in society, you see people, getting into marriages, which is essentially a form of social contract, and then repeating their life as if it is a cycle and a ritual day in, day out. And then feeling like, the magic of marriage is lost. The magic of being in a relationship is lost. But actually, is it really lost? Or are we forgetting that one of the fundamental tenets of being in love is to be able to fling yourself off the cliff?
There are many different terminologies to define various aspects of love. And in the Greek terms, there are three that I want to highlight: eros, philia, and agape. So eros is that of wanting to be one with something. And how you be one with something is by consuming it. So I drink the coffee becomes one with me. Therefore, there's an act of love here. It's in the modern day, it's known to be very linked to sexual connections. To be one with someone sexually is erotic. But in the more open sense, it is that of consumption. It's a love of consumption. The second is philia, is the love of cooperation, working alongside someone. It's more platonic. So, I love this friendship. We're not consuming each other. There might be a sort of transaction here because we're working together in something. And the last is that of agape, the love of creation, that which is a sacrificial sort of love. And the Christians would say is the highest form of love because it is a love that comes without conditions. You haven't done anything to deserve this, but I'm going to give it to you anyway. It is a forgiveness. And I like this word because, it was before you've earned anything, I give. Before giving. And knowing these distinctions is helpful because when we think now, well, I'm in love or I want to be in love, there are various aspects here. When you have a romantic partner that you very much want to get together with, let's ask honestly, what does that mean? Do you want to see that partner just strive in life and work with you? Or do you want him or her to be one with you? I want to have you. I want to own you. I want you to be inside me. And in a way, at the highest form of that, when, for example, in terms of the biological sense, when a man and woman are so one together, it creates life by giving birth to a new child. So that's as if there's a creation that comes from this sort of love. Having known these distinctions now, I think the exciting question to ask now is, so let's talk about romantic love. When you specifically have a sort of romantic love with one partner, something has happened here. I could have many, many partners, but I decide not to do that because I'm going to give a lot of time and attention to that one person. What's the trade-off here? I'm going to know you so in depth. I'm going to see how you sleep. I'm going to see how you drink coffee. I'm going to see how you tackle stresses and traumas of everyday life. I will know you and I'll be known by you. And therefore, there's a very, very special relationship going on. That's the romantic love. Now, in the romantic love, there is various forms occurring, both eros, philia, and agape, all at the same time. But things can go wrong. Because now let's put romantic love aside and think about the greater aspect of love. Does the self transform? Does the self become better and grow? If two people being in various parts or seasons of their life require a certain type of journeying together, they will feel attracted potentially. But after some time, if people grow at different paces, one person really strives very, very far forward and one person is like, in a way, lagging behind, doesn't want to rush on. In some time, as time passes, they are in different phases, and therefore their life's journey requires them to split apart, and therefore romantic love will fail, needing therefore a sort of a different partner. In my opinion, romantic love can dissipate. The love can disappear, unless of course both partners are chasing on life with the same passion and at the same speed, and perhaps also accepting that let's let romantic love fail, because it can find itself anew again when we disappear and come together again, which is why people say distance makes the heart grow fonder. I think what they mean is let's not hold on that I'm romantically in love with you and therefore this must stay all the time. But we just accept that your presence makes me feel like life can grow. Being with you helps me share this experience with the world, and everything feels more real, more alive. And I really enjoy this sensation. So I'm in a state of love with you, and it may disappear and it will come back and disappear and come back, but we just watch it. Therefore, we ignore romantic love and go look towards the bigger aspect of love towards life in general.
I realize that I'm disagreeing with something. I think when you say that to be in a romantic relationship is to know and be known by someone else, yes, but I don't think it is possible for us to completely understand and know another person. The dense forest that they are with their entire lived history is impossible for anyone actually to understand someone and to say, I know that you are XXYYZZ has the dangers of having a lot of projections and illusions. So because of that, I feel like romantic love is not something that comes and goes. I think that the phenomenon of this very expanding feeling of love becoming something that is finite, predictable, stable, and therefore dead lies in the existential stance or the way in which we view each other. So if I view you as someone going like, I know, he always wake up late, don't want to do the dishes, or she's always lazy, she always messes up the house, that locks and deadens the relationship.
I really appreciate what you just said. Do you have anything more to add? Sorry.
No.
Okay, I thought I was interrupting
Yeah,
you.
that was what I wanted to say.
You have an eyelash I took out for you.
That's him too.
And that's where that whole question arises, where people are constantly changing or are not truly showing their true self because maybe they don't even know their true self. Is it bad that you are putting in an impression of what you think he is and therefore you jump into the relationship?
So if I paraphrase it, something like, how do you know whether to get into a relationship with someone if you don't know the person? For me, a lot of it is intuition, which is this very inexplicable concept. But also, when we say I love you, right, people like to harp on the word love. But who is the I? Who is the you? Do I love you, or do I love my imagination of you? Or do I love my story, my projection of you? Who are you? Who am I? And unless we understand this fundamental question, who am I think it is misleading sometimes to say I love you. And that's why it's like, okay, one day I love you, next day I hate you. Wow, then we have another huge argument. How can it be so flippant? Because there are so many different selves that is living within this one self. who is the self? And maybe this is a question that is at the heart of how do we know the other person? How do we first know ourselves? So when we talk about commitment, when people say, I will commit to you in that I will swear to stay in a relationship with you, I think that's commitment put the wrong place. I think that to say there is commitment in love is to say I am committed to be on this journey of investigating who I am. I'm committed to look at you anew every single day. I'm committed to being very careful when I am treating you as an object, an unchanging projection of my mind, versus I'm treating you as a real human being who can evolve and grow with time. I think that is the real commitment in love. And then I think that to say commitment equals BTO, we have a life together, we have kids, I come back home to you every day. These are just forms. And these forms, these structures, without that fire, which is that search, that continuous search for what is truthful, for what is unknown, I think it will crumble and fall apart. Not to say that it doesn't have any benefits to society, but I think that it is a simulacrum of what is actually essential to a relationship.
I think you've identified a phenomena which I think is very interesting to dig deeper into. So, in the very lay person sense, I meet a new partner and it's so exciting, so fresh, there's so much spark. After a while, the spark dies. And I think it's very interesting to dissect what's happening here. When I meet you for the first time, I don't know you. I open my heart and attention and accept anything you give. But after a while, if I think I've understood you, I say, Bernice is da-da-da-da-da-da-da. I have essentially objectified you.
You've labeled me.
I've labeled you. You are not human anymore. Because your human is dynamic and changing. I have dehumanized you. And therefore, there's no more spark, there's no more investigation. And so, in a way, the problem is you. Because you're not looking at a person as a changing being. And that's the first interesting note. The second thing being that, so therefore, the person should, first of all, take on the stance that people will always change. And the second is that being in a relationship with someone will reflect more about myself than the person sharing about them. I think this is beautiful because I think a very tangible example could look like this. I realize I'm very irritated that you don't clear the trash every time. I feel like I'm alone in doing chores. And then you go, who's the problem here? Is it Rennie's the problem or is Julian the problem? And the interesting thing is, to some degree, it is Julian not being a problem, but realizing something about himself. That clearing the trash means love. Clearing the trash means attention. And now, this relationship is revealing something about me. The priority here is not to find someone who will clear trash for each other. but rather is, as we journey through life, these issues will pop up. I want to struggle with you because I feel like you can help me understand myself and vice versa. So let's talk about why clearing the trash is so important to me, and I will realize something about myself. And once that's realized, my world will get bigger, and it's so beautiful. And I want you to see it with me. Something like that. I think we're getting closer towards a relationship that can commit, that can stand through the test of time, and in a way wouldn't lose the spark.
I think that's beautiful. I think in a way saying like I want to enter a relationship with you is a bit like, hey, I want to find out more about myself and I want this journey to include you. I think that's a very beautiful way of putting it.
Yeah. To the gentlemen out there, they say, she's so beautiful, her eyes shine like diamonds, your voice so like angelic, we are describing form, right? You're so innocent, the way you see the world, yada, yada, yada. People change. So whatever you're describing is going to change. To say that I like her because of XYZ is to condemn her to an unchanging being, because if you change, by my logic, I shouldn't like that anymore. So there's a problem here. But let's also investigate the beauty here. What's happening? Let's say, for example, if I was to say that I feel an affinity to those attributes, what does it say about myself? Have I already lost myself? I want to be innocent. I want to be childish. I want to see the world in that sense, in those eyes. So
it's like I want to remember myself through you. And by being with you, you are helping me learn how to see the world in a different way. And therefore, being in a relationship is like, it's kind of like that pact. Like, remind me of the person that I've lost, or remind me of my inner self once more, so that I can grow roots and become a bigger tree.
Exactly, yeah. And so therefore, if I feel strong infatuation, they call it, over this girl, let's not throw it away and say, don't think that way, you are being a simp. Yes, you are. So what? The phenomena is existing and the phenomena is showing you something about yourself. Let's relish in it, let's accept it.
And ask her, why are you being a simp?
That's right.
What are you lacking in life that you feel so compelled to be a simp for this girl?
To potentially, for example, obsess even. But like, don't throw away so fast. There's strong energy here. What does it make you want to do? You know, let's play imagination. I want to be with the girl. I want to hang out with her. I want to play games. Okay, exactly what? Exactly what? Because it's going to lead you to an understanding of the self. Now, if the girl wants to journey on with you, then sure. If not, then it's still a precious thing that we can hold on to, which is why I kind of like the idea if, to some degree, if I like the girl, I should tell her, yeah, act on it and be hurt by it if necessary, because it will reveal something about you and transform you. Accept everything. The journey is beautiful. That's why I would have told myself. Yeah,
You can't play devil's advocate.
go for it.
And I wanted to ask the both of you actually, do you think, and this is completely going against what I just said, do you think there are actually people who cannot change or choose, or people who chooses not to change? So they are actually a robot. They live and they see the world in a static way.
I feel like, first of all, we're all humans. So how have you damaged yourself so much to the point that you've given up to feel that way, that you can't change? But I feel like the people out there that feel as if they don't want to change or grow, I feel like for them it's just a sense of fear. I don't know. I feel like I have so much hope in humanity that I wish to think that those type of people don't exist, and that there are hidden details that they need to figure out, or challenges that they need to figure out first in order to actually grow.
I feel like people like these definitely exist and they will suffer. They will suffer greatly because they feel like the soul, the subconscious wants to grow but feels like it is impossible to grow. And the suffering will continue up till the end of their life, or will be so immense that they will take drastic action. Sometimes the drastic action is great. They change their lives for the better. Sometimes it's terrible. They commit suicide. But it will be interesting to investigate why they cannot break free. A lot of times I feel like the fault is that of the environment, the people around them that push them to stay static. And I think one key example I'm thinking of is in a romantic relationship, like in my own personal example to some degree, that when you are with a partner, you can
I need to drink tea. No, I need to, because Julian's spilling the tea.
you can either think of it as your own self-growth, and therefore if you see bad behavior, you call it out, you disdain bad behavior, or you can perpetuate bad behavior by saying, yes, keep doing that way, keep staying the same. I think I will now draw back to the whole concept of a romantic relationship and try to understand toxic relationships.
Toxic relationships, yes.
Toxic relationships.
Guys, the stage is yours.
No one ever comes to you and with a label say, hey, I'm toxic.